Former spokesperson for Israel Defense Forces and senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus joins me. Good evening, sir. And, you know, every night when I watch this, I realize there's joy in the release of hostages. But, you know, the idea that two people are released and they have that mob and they act like that to hurt the two that are released, it's just, to me, it's unthinkable. And I don't know why the world just sort of, I mean, I don't know what the world can do, but it almost just stands by and looks at it and indicts Netanyahu for war crimes in The Hague.
You know, what struck, good evening to you, Greta, and thanks for having me on. You know, if you look at the hand, the left hand of Arbel Yehud, you know, after a year and 4 months in Hamas captivity, her fingers are white, and they're white because she's clutching the hand of one of those armed thugs as she's being pushed through these masses of barbarians that are pushing and shoving on her way to the Red Cross vehicle. Absolutely horrifying scenes. And, you know, there's a big difference here between how Hamas releases hostages, the choreographed, organized, pompous affairs that Hamas has organized, and how the Islamic Jihad did theirs. And there's the big difference here in the really the disorganized way that the Islamic Jihad did it today with Khan Yunis is a big difference. One of the reasons may be that Hamas has hired professional help in choreographing and organizing these events. And maybe you'd be surprised to hear who they have behind the scenes managing it. He is an Al Jazeera senior reporter, Gazan-born, but works for Al Jazeera, and he is part-timing as master of ceremony and choreographer of the release of Hamas hostages that we saw today take place in Jabalia, Agam Berger, the Israeli soldier. And that's been going on, and you can see the sharp contrast between these two so-called ceremonies.
Yeah, and even the numbers are unthinkable. 110 Palestinians for 5 Thai nationals and two Israelis, I think it is. I mean, it's just the idea is that, I mean, they are, you know, I realize that Israel has to do this. I realize it because they want to get the hostages home. And I've walked the hostage square. I've seen the pain of the families of the hostages. But, you know, it is so, there are just almost no words to describe this, of what the Israelis have gone through, what Israel is being forced to do. And I do hold the world partially accountable because these people are terrible people.
Yes, and you know, even people who you refer to them, maybe people that care more about Palestinians. And fine, you know, not everybody loves us. We're used to that. But at the end of the day, if you really care about Palestinians, then your goal should be to free Palestinians of that tyrannical terrorist organization that is oppressing them, Hamas. The goal should be to free Palestinians from that yoke, and it isn't. Understand. And another thing that amazes me, you mentioned it as, you know, going by 5 Thai nationals. These Thai nationals, agricultural workers that have been working in Israel, have been kept just like the Israeli hostages. And you ask yourself, what purpose does that serve for Hamas? Why on earth would they keep Thai nationals? They're of no political or military value for Hamas. And other than sheer cruelty, why would they keep them there? I mean, in a perverse universe of Hamas, I can understand why they abduct Israelis and hold them hostage. They use them as bargaining chips in the conflict. But Thai nationals? I mean, it's really beyond my understanding. And this isn't my first rodeo with Hamas. And it really doesn't make sense. And it really gives you another example of who it is that we're dealing with. And again, they're getting a free pass, Hamas, from so many other media organizations and pundits and people around the world who, for some obscene reason, seem to be siding with them and picking their side. And I can't make sense of it.
You know, I've turned a lot of my anger. I mean, I've got anger at Hamas. I've got anger at the United Nations. I've got anger of UNRWA. I've got anger at the media organizations. I've got anger of all these countries. I mean, you know, like nobody has bothered. I mean, very few have bothered to help. And what's going on there is there just are no words. Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, thank you, sir, for joining me. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.